Hey, this is Derek with the Make a Fun Island podcast, and I'm here with Michelle from Force of Light Entertainment. She's got a great channel on YouTube that you guys should check out. Her and her sister Natalie are on there, multiple times a week, weekly. You guys are
Yes.
you guys are killing it.
We try to do multiple times a week. Sometimes it's like it depends on what's kind of the news that week.
Uh-huh.
But usually, at least with our live streams, that makes it multiple. So usually multiple.
Yeah, because usually you do like a Wednesday stream. I think it's
Yes.
about 4 p.m. Pacific, my time, so that's 7 p.m. Eastern, I think.
Yes, you got it.
Okay, yeah,
we
I
do
know because
that,
I'm off.
and then
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say we do that, and then that's when we try to do little videos, kind of just whatever's out that week.
Yeah, so I was hoping to talk to you about your favorite movie in the past year, Dune.
Everyone loves to bring up Dune to me because they know how I feel about it.
Yeah, so I like to give you a hard time about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, Michelle, so I really find you guys fascinating, fun, and entertaining, and you kind of cover pop culture, movies, mostly movies, but you cover other aspects of pop culture as well. And I understand, like, you have a PhD in theology, I think, as well.
Yes, I am actually, I have 3 more chapters to go before I'm officially Dr. Smith, so
Okay. Mm-hmm.
getting close.
Yeah, and where are you getting that degree from?
It's Regent University in Virginia Beach.
Oh, okay, great. So I teach at Northwest University here in Seattle.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's a small Christian college up here. So
Well, that's awesome.
yeah, but all right. So yeah, tell me a little bit about like why you guys started your channel. Yeah, because I started following you guys when you were like less than 500 followers, and you're over 5,000 now. You just, I think, hit your 5,000 mark, right?
Yes, we did. And for starters, thank you. We appreciate you subscribing and come along the journy with us. And then
Yeah,
some
it's
of the
been
kind
fun.
words you've said have truly like mean a lot. I don't know if people realize it's like whether you, I mean, really, that's just a part of life, whether it's
Hmm.
YouTube or just life in general. Kind comments can mean so much to people. So thank
Yeah.
you for some of
Yeah,
your kind
yeah, you're
words.
welcome.
Yes, appreciate it. But yeah, we started actually. Let's see, it was the end of like 2019, and I wanted to do a Christian podcast.
Hmm.
And I came up with the idea Force of Light. It was a play on words with, of course, Christianity, being, of course, all the scriptures dealing with light, children of light, you're of
Hmm.
the light, those scriptures. But then also I got force from kind of a more, I guess, controversial scripture of what it means. But when Jesus says that the kingdom of God suffers violence and the violent take it by force.
Hmm.
And I just kind of put those together like a force of light, like one
Hmm.
moving organism that is a force of good, a force of light.
Hmm.
And so that's kind of how I came up with the name. And for some reason, I thought it would be easiest, and I think it is for my Christian podcast, honestly, but I thought it would be easiest to start off on podcasts. And the funny thing about that is I'd really never listened to podcasts. I was always a
Hmm.
YouTube person,
Yeah.
but I was like, well, I'll go the podcast route. So I
Hmm.
had that idea. And then one day, honestly, I was just praying. And like, as I was praying, it's like the idea came to me to ask my sister to do an entertainment podcast with me. And it would be
Hmm.
Force of Light Entertainment. Because I've always loved movies. I love talking about movies and entertainment type stuff. And so that's how we started. She was like, okay. And we started. And I would say probably, really, we did kind of the podcast thing for a year. And
Hmm.
then we went to YouTube, which is kind of basically all we do as far as Force of Light Entertainment now. We
Hmm.
still upload occasionally to podcasts, but
Hmm.
mostly it's predominantly just YouTube at this point for Force of Light Entertainment.
Hmm. And
So that's how we got started.
yeah, and then also, I mean, and I guess how I discovered you is you guys are Star Wars fans, and I'm a Star Wars fan. So
Yes,
I,
yeah.
so I think you popped up in my, my home feed on YouTube, just as a YouTube recommendation, and so that's
Hey,
how
I
I
like
discovered
that.
you. Yeah. So, and
The
that was
algorithm
interesting.
working.
Yeah, right. And that happened even with you guys with less than 500 subscribers. So that's pretty cool.
That is.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
Yeah. So let's talk about that for a moment. So how much do you guys like monitor the algorithm and kind of, sweat the growth and all that? Do you? I mean, some people just don't. Um,
Do you know, like, as far as like, well, and I think this is kind of how it is, and you would know this from your business. It's
mhm,
like you need people who have gone before you to kind of help you figure things out.
mhm,
And we've been very blessed to have. I have found the YouTube community to be very helpful. Like
mhm,
it's amazing how you can just reach out to a YouTuber you don't really even know, and they will stop and explain to you and try to be as helpful as possible to
mhm.
you about whatever you're asking, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, but we've had several people that I'm not very techie at all. Like I'm not. And
Mhm.
I'm the techie one of the two of us, which is sad because I'm not good at editing
Right.
any of these things.
Yeah.
But we've had people that have helped us kind of teach us little tricks with the algorithm and things like
Mhm.
that. But at the end of the day with YouTube, you kind of you may tag things the right way and do everything you can do, but at the end of the day, it's out of your hands. Like some
Mhm.
things, like it really is just totally up to YouTube, and it's something I've yet to really figure out. So in that sense, I've learned not to sweat it, so to say.
Mhm.
You just
Mhm.
kind of have to put it out there and hope for the best.
Right. So you guys just do your thing, and
Yes,
yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
We've been taught a few little tricks to try to help the process, but at the end of the day, sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah. Right. So then, like, what kind of people come to your podcast? I mean, how would you characterize your audience? Do you think?
Do you know, I think what's interesting, and I think what is good, it was one of the reasons I wanted to start when I first started. Of course, I started as a podcast. And one of the
Mhm.
things that made me want to start was, again, I'd watch entertainment YouTube type videos for a couple years before we
Mhm.
started. And
Mhm.
I was watching one that was a pretty large one at the time. And they were covering the week box office. And there happened to be a Christian movie, and I think it was called like I Believe or something.
Mhm.
And one of the people that was like the host was like, they read off I believe, and just so sarcastically and dismissively, it was like, well, I don't believe. And it kind of bothered me to the point of like, it's like, I want a space where Christians can feel they're not going to be mocked. Like,
Mhm.
because there's a lot of Christians like you who like Star Wars or
Mhm.
like Stranger Things or some of these pop culture entertainment, and they want a place that they can talk about it with everyone else. And
Mhm.
there was that. It was that one comment. It just bothered me of like, I
Mhm.
want people to be able to come to my channel, Christians, and they're not going to be mocked. Like
Mhm.
that's never going to happen on my channel.
Mhm.
And it's like, for the most part, I mean, we try to be welcoming and inclusive to all people.
Right. Mhm.
I mean, I guess there's some viewpoints that probably wouldn't like our channel, I would
Mhm.
say. But that was kind of a big thing for me, just kind of wanting that. And I see that in our viewership. Now,
Mhm.
not everyone is a Christian who watches our channel. I know that, but there's a lot that are. And some of the comment section, God bless, be praying for you, different
Mhm.
things like that. It really touches me because I see kind of that, which was in my heart to do, coming to
Mhm.
pass,
Mhm.
where there is a space where Christians who like talking entertainment can come,
Mhm.
and it's kind of a safe place for them, and so to say.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, very cool. And what do you think resonates with topics that you guys have been covering the most?
In what sense?
Well, like, I mean, is it mostly movies, like movie reviews? I mean, I think you guys were talking about this on your chill stream. You guys have what you call a chill
Yes.
stream every once in a
Yes.
while, where people just hang out, right?
Do you
Um,
know,
yeah.
the thing that I think resonates the most, I mean, the thing that has done the best have been reactions, whether trailer
Oh, yeah.
reactions or
Hmm.
movie reactions. People really enjoy with trailer reactions, people really enjoy seeing, well, what did someone else think about it? Were they hyped? Were
Mm-hmm.
they not hyped?
Mm-hmm.
And then I think it is cool too with like movies, people want, especially if it's an old movie that they really love. They love
Mm.
kind of experiencing it with someone watching for the first time, and
Oh,
they
okay,
get that
gotcha.
effect.
Yeah.
And that's been fun to do. Like our
Mm-hmm.
next one that we have being edited right now that will be coming out is Top Gun. And so
Oh,
it'll be
okay. You guys
interesting to
haven't seen
see.
Top Gun. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we had it. We watched it and we've
Uh-huh.
reacted to it. So I'm excited for everyone to get to see us watch it for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
And so those are fun. People seem to really like those. And then
Mm-hmm.
I still love doing movie reviews, or we really only do TV if it's something like we really, really love and like that I feel is clean enough to cover to a degree.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's why we kind of stick with Star Wars. It's, only going to be so dirty.
Right.
And
Right.
and then also like when Stranger Things comes out, we'll cover that because we're big Stranger Things
Mm-hmm.
fans.
Mm-hmm.
But then also we are going to be mixing in more of just kind of those, if we call them chill stream, but streams that don't necessarily have such a pointed direction of things to talk about, but are
Mm-hmm.
really just more there to discuss whatever with
Mm-hmm.
the audience.
Yeah.
Just chat it up with one another, and usually entertainment talking points come up, but we found that people seem to really enjoy those, and we want to do
Mm-hmm.
more of them.
Yeah, like would you cover, say, the Johnny Depp trial that's going on right now? I mean, would that be of interest to you or not really? Leave that one alone.
I have not covered it. We brought something up on the last
Mhm.
weekly. That's more something we'll bring little things up about it that like
Okay.
interest us from it,
Right.
because it is, it is kind of interesting.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's been fascinating. I've been watching this little sidebar. I mean, I've been watching just little things here and there, and it's been fun getting Johnny Depp more humanized in a way, and it's kind
Yeah.
of funny seeing a Hollywood actor who's excellent on the witness stand, because like you're like, are you acting right now? Or are you
Yes.
right?
Well, and
Yeah.
what's funny too, you've like people have like made little videos of him. Like he's
Uh-huh.
pretty funny in a very dry way. Like his
Yeah,
humor
right.
comes out constantly in the trial even.
Yeah,
So
right.
it has been entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, cool. So then tell everybody about your sister as well, Natalie, who's also on the podcast with you, or on the YouTube channel with you. So tell us a little bit
Yes.
about Natalie.
Natalie the Red, as she is called.
Yeah.
She got that from Gandalf the White. And of course,
Oh,
since she
okay.
has red hair, she's Natalie the Red.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm trying to think what I should say about her. She's
Without her in the room. Yeah.
she's my sister. What's funny about us, and people I'm sure that have really watched your channel pick this up,
Mm-hmm.
we are polar opposite personalities, like polar opposite, like opposite, can't get further opposite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yet we agree on most things in life. We just
Mm-hmm.
come at it from very polar opposite personalities.
Uh-huh.
So I think that comes through with Natalie and I. Like I'm more the type A, Natalie's more the laid back one.
Uh-huh.
Those type of things are kind of humorous with sisters. And I think at times even the audience notices when we're getting on each other's nerves, even if it happens. We're sisters.
Uh-huh. Right.
But yeah, I'm trying to think anything else you want to know about Natalie? Anything
I don't know.
specific?
Well, no, I don't know. I mean, are you guys? How else are you different? I mean, are you like one's more sci-fi and the other was more romance stuff? I mean, like,
Oh,
you
what's funny is like I actually am the romance one and the sci-fi one. Natalie just loves a good drama. Like
Okay.
she loves drama to the max. Like,
Right.
I mean, it can even be a drama like a Breaking Bad, which kind of is dramatic. That's drama. Or like a Mad Men's another one of her favorites. But that's her thing. She loves a good drama.
Breaking Bad is
But
one I have not watched. That would be a reaction video I need to do. Yeah,
It at times it's heavy, but my
yeah.
gosh, it really is probably one of the greatest written TV shows of all time.
That's what I hear, and I have lots of like cinematographer friends and friends who write scripts and things, and they say the same thing. They're just like, "This is the most amazing show," like from a writing perspective.
It is. It's like, so many shows either do a really good job of like from episode 1 they know where they're going. They
Hmm.
kind of go that route, kind of plot driven. They know where the plot's going. And then
Hmm.
there's other shows like a Mad Men that's just about unwinding a character. And it's
Hmm.
like Breaking Bad was like perfectly both. Like you could
Hmm.
tell they always knew where they're going, but at the same time they just so detailed unwind these characters. It really is. It's worth watching.
Yeah. You know what? Actually, one thing too is Lost is one of my favorite TV shows of all time. Did you
Do you
guys
know
ever watch that?
I've never watched Lost because I know how it ends and it's ruined me from ever wanting to go
Oh,
and start it.
right.
Which is
But the first few
unfortunate because
seasons are the
people really
best,
loved it.
huh?
Yes, people really loved it when it came out.
Oh yeah, it was amazing. Yeah, same thing. The writing's incredible, and a lot of the writers, went on to write the Star Trek reboot, and J.J. Abrams' team, behind the sequel trilogy for Star Wars, like all the writers, everything were from his team. So, and they were really,
Yeah.
I mean, they were kind of seasoned before they did Lost, but they really cut their teeth on Lost because it was just such a long, long
Yeah.
series with just a grueling schedule. Like they had really interesting behind the scenes of like how they would, film in Hawaii. They, had have to upload the footage. Then it goes to LA where it'd be edited. Then they get the dailies back, and then JJ would have to watch it. And like, I mean, like it was just this grind.
Yeah.
And I guess that's what happens when you're show running, on a series like that. But
That's very true. That's very
yeah,
true.
yeah.
I was going to say too, as far as Natalie, I will say as much as she enjoys drama is definitely her thing. That's her thing.
Hmm.
And I love a good drama too.
Yeah.
I branch down to other what word am I looking for? Genres more
Okay.
than Natalie does. But she did grow up loving Star Wars. She
Hmm.
does. Now, does she love it on the nerdy level of me? No.
Okay.
But does she love it enough that like she was like bawling her eyes out the end of Mandalorian season 3 or
Right.
season 2?
Yeah.
Yes, like she was.
Oh, that's great.
She always. But that's I think what's great about Star Wars is that it kind of it has like multiple genres within it,
Hmm.
like to where people can appreciate it. Very
Right. Did
that
you
wouldn't
cry? Did you
necessarily.
cry on that episode too?
Oh, I did. I
I
did.
did. I lost it. I completely lost it. I was just a blubbering fool. Yeah.
If we would have recorded our live, Natalie and I happened to be watching that episode together.
Hmm.
If we would have recorded that live, we would probably have 100,000 subscribers because we
Yeah.
were out of our seats, we were
Hmm.
clapping, we were pointing at the TV, and then a few
Yeah.
minutes later, Natalie is bawling. Like tears
Oh,
are in my eyes. She's
yeah.
just flat bawling.
Yeah. So, okay, so let's talk about that for a moment. So, like, who do you credit for that? Who do you think delivered that moment?
Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni,
Yeah,
the two of
I
them.
think so too. Yeah. I
Absolutely.
yeah, I really credit John. I think that he understands humans on a very, no, just fundamental level, and he's been able to make stories, whether it's, Iron Man. I think of Robert Downey Jr., in that opening scene with the Hummer. He's in the Hummer, with the
Yes.
drink, like he just understands, like, how people think and, what that would really
Yes.
be like, um, and well, I mean, at least some sort of exaggeration, right, of what that would be like.
Yes.
And so, yeah. So I really love what they've been doing. It's great to see that Dave Filoni's moved up in the Star Wars, a Lucasfilm, when I say organizational structure, that he's
It
really
is. It
doing a great
is.
job there now.
Well, and I think John bringing on Dave Filoni was a good call because Filoni I think so understands like when I say the spiritual, I mean like the force element. Like he
Mm-hmm.
so gets that and understands it. And to me it's like I can enjoy a Rogue One occasionally, 2
Mm-hmm.
hours of no Jedi, but like
Yeah.
for a series, I really need I need that element. Like I really do. Like
Hmm.
it's like Star Wars doesn't feel like Star Wars without it. And I
Hmm.
think them putting the child and making him force sensitive was a really wise call.
Right, right. Yeah. The other moment I cried, I've only cried twice in Star Wars. The other moment in which Dave Filoni is responsible for was when Ahsoka walked away from the Jedi Order in the Clone Wars.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
that one moved me, and that really sealed the deal. I think for me, like bonding with Ahsoka as a character,
Mm.
and Dave Filoni really delivered that moment so well, and just
Yes. Well,
made her character complex, right? Because now
yes.
she's not a Jedi. She says she's not a Jedi. Yet
Oh my
she's
gosh. That
but she is the total embodiment of what a Jedi is, right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Ahsoka, yeah, Ahsoka's kind of like the female character I think we wish we would have gotten with Rey in the sequel trilogy more.
Right.
A little more
Exactly.
complete, a little more
Yeah.
there's more to her character.
Right.
But a very good character. In fact, it's funny you teared up on that. I teared up in I mean, technically it's the book of Boba Fett, but in
Mhm.
the episode where Ahsoka was in it, and I like
Yes.
teared up when her and Luke were together because I've always
Yeah.
wanted to see that, and it was like,
Right.
oh, it's happening.
Right. Yeah. Well, and the other part of Ahsoka too, I mean, there's definitely Christian allegory in her story too. Because, I think of like, there's a lot of people who say claim the Christian name and do a lot of bad stuff, right? And
Yes.
I think what's interesting about that that story element or that story arc for her is that you don't have to have the label, right, to be living it, and there's kind of a true path in a way that you go down to really live that lifestyle, even though people may go, well, no, like, and I think that's
Yeah.
kind of like, I mean, Jesus was that completely, right? Of like, they're like, wait, you're not a teacher. Who are you? You're just this fisherman dude. And
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, so that's kind of the what I think about when I think about Ahsoka's story.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's a phenomenal character, I think.
Hmm. Yeah. So okay, so what other movie, like for you personally, what is your favorite movie of all time?
The Empire Strikes Back. I don't even
Oh,
need to
okay.
think about that.
Okay. And why do you?
It's that locked.
Uh-huh. Okay, and what makes it that for you? What makes it your favorite of all time?
Oh my gosh. Well, for starters, Star Wars is my favorite franchise of all time.
Hmm.
And that original trilogy will always be so special to me. Like
Hmm.
I've grown to it. I have an appreciation for the prequels, especially the story of the prequels.
Hmm.
And of course, I enjoyed aspects of Clone Wars, Rebels, that time period.
Hmm.
What things they've done now, but and the Mandalorian I like, but I will always have such a special place for the original trilogy. Like I grew up watching it
Hmm.
all the time.
Hmm.
Like that was before really we had superheroes, so that was kind of
Hmm.
my thing.
Hmm.
And the Empire, as a little kid, I liked Return of the Jedi the best
Hmm.
because I
The
mean,
Ewoks and yeah,
yeah, the Ewoks. I didn't mind them because I was a kid, and
yeah.
then you got Luke with his green saber, and he's
Hmm.
actually a Jedi now.
Hmm.
That type stuff. But it was when I was about 16, Empire Strikes Back became my favorite of the trilogy,
Hmm.
and as to why. Like to me, The Empire Strikes Back is a perfect movie. Like from the moment it opens to the moment the final shot of the movie, like
Hmm.
it's that 2 hours flies by. Like
Mm.
you 2 hours just goes by like with the snap of the finger.
Yeah.
Because it just so perfectly the story keeps moving and progressing. And it's like it's just so perfectly a balance of like bad things happening and then hope like running throughout the story as
Mm.
well. And it's
Right.
just I don't know, it's just I mean, good gosh, who doesn't smile when the shot comes down to Hoth and you hear the theme music play and Luke takes off like his goggles. I mean, it
Hmm.
makes me smile every time. I mean,
Yeah.
and that one just has so many awesome moments.
Hmm.
One of my favorite cinematic moments in all of history
Hmm.
is the Han, I love you. I know. Just so many
Right.
moments in that movie.
Yeah, right.
I adore that scene.
Yeah.
You get the famous "No, I am your father." I mean,
Hmm.
iconic. And
Right.
then you get Yoda, the introduction of Yoda.
Yeah, right.
One of my favorite quotes of all time, "Do or do not, there is no try," is in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, what is it there to love about that movie? It's just, to me, again, it's like it's literally a perfect movie, and it's
Mhm.
probably my favorite score from John Williams in any of those movies. Like,
Yeah.
you get the Imperial March for the very first time.
Right.
You get
Yeah.
Yoda's theme.
Yeah.
It's just it's perfection.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't maybe understand that when you think of what was riding on that for George Lucas,
Yes, all of his
because
money.
yeah, and I mean, what's amazing, and I don't know what, there's some behind the scenes on some DVD somewhere where he's talking about it, where, he had the pressure of delivering a sequel to Star Wars, which seemed impossible, because Star Wars, the original A New Hope, was so well loved. Um, and so a lot of people were kind of like banking on the disappointment, you know, and and then not
He
only
was like,
that,
"No."
what?
I said, he was like, "No, don't be disappointed."
Right. But like you said, he took all his money, all of his profits from Star Wars, A New Hope, and he reinvested it into Empire Strikes Back. And so had that not done well, he would have lost everything. And so he basically had lightning strike twice, which is just
Yes.
unbelievable, unbelievable.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, him taking that risk. And then also, I think it kind of speaks to like why they're so good compared to things today, where it's like you had someone who, of course, he had a different director there, but
Hmm.
someone who was so involved to the point they put up their own money to get it the way they want it.
Hmm.
And I think that's kind of cool for today's time, where you kind of seem to have these kind of like manufactured, almost like it's assembly line type movies.
Yeah,
It feels
formulaic.
like
Hmm.
compared to that, which was so much heart and love poured into it by
Hmm.
the creator.
Yeah. And creative thinking too. I mean, I think about this too, like
Yes.
even with the Star Wars prequels, of how much world building happened in the prequels,
Yes.
and stuff that we take for granted now, of like different planets like Naboo, and the character Darth Maul, and like all of that came from prequels. And it's just interesting to see how George, was just cooking this stuff up, out of
Yeah.
nowhere, this whole universe. And with Empire
Yeah.
Strikes Back, he was doing more world building that you had not seen, in A New Hope. So, yeah, the creativity,
Absolutely.
you're right, it was on 10.
Yes,
Hmm.
definitely.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
that's my favorite.
Oh, awesome. Well, yeah, it's so great to talk to you, Michelle. How do people find you? Are you guys on social media and stuff too?
We are, yeah. You can find me. The Force of I Entertainment Twitter feed is basically my personal feed at this
Okay.
point. So
Hmm.
Force of I Entertainment on Twitter, Instagram. You also can follow me at Michelle34Smith on Instagram, and you can subscribe at Force of I Entertainment on YouTube. And also, if you are a Christian, I do have my Christian podcast, and that's only podcast form, and that
Hmm.
is just Force of Light podcast,
Oh,
and
okay,
that's
great.
everywhere podcasts are available.
Oh, very cool. Awesome. Well, thanks for being on Make a Fun Island, the business of creativity, Michelle, and look forward to seeing you in the chat on your YouTube stream.
Well, thank you very much for having me. I had a lot of fun talking with you today. And again, it's nice to talk face to face.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I'm
I mean, I
often one
guess
of
it's
the
not technically face to face, but
yeah.
kind of.
Yeah, I'm a lurker in the chat room on your channel.
Hey, we all lurk in chats. It's fine.
Yeah. Okay, Michelle, we'll see you on YouTube.
It sounds good.